Well, sustainability has been defined in many ways, but from a business perspective, we are looking at moving away, not just looking at profits, but also including or integrating societal aspects and environmental preservation aspects. One beverage company was able to save a whole 500 million Kenya shillings in 1 year just by improving their practices and their technologies of how they use water. Circularity is simply keeping resources in the loop, eliminating waste.
Welcome to yet another episode of Industry Today. This is a podcast where we continue to focus on the trends, the challenges, as well as the opportunities that are shaping Kenya's manufacturing sector. And this week, we focus on a critical subject that businesses are increasingly focusing on: sustainability and business sustainability. Why are companies increasingly embracing sustainability reporting? Is it because of financing? Is it because of the efficiency in operations? Or is it because of the business's processes and also requirement by the suppliers, the buyers? We'll delve into this more. And to help us unpack this is none other than Joyce Njogu, the head of sustainability at Kenya Association of Manufacturers. Welcome to the show, Joyce. We are glad to have you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Good. Joyce, just as we start, this question about sustainability. What is really sustainability, especially looking at the business and the industry sense?
Well, sustainability has been defined in many ways. Some people look at it as utilizing resources today in a way that you can preserve more for a future. Yes. But from a business perspective, we are looking at moving away, not just looking at profits, but also including or integrating societal aspects and environmental preservation aspects into the business strategies, and also just as a way of complying with the global trends that have come in. We've gone through a lot of climate change that has really brought in different challenges. We've seen the droughts that are affecting access to raw materials, the floods that are affecting infrastructure. So it's become an imperative that we focus on how then we think through how we do business, how we access raw materials, how then we produce them, how we consume them, and even how we dispose or recycle them for future use, and also preserving resources that can be utilized by another generation. So really long-term thinking as we achieve short-term gains.
Good, fantastic explanation there. And now, Joyce, we've seen over the last couple of years, businesses are embracing this in their reporting. We've seen companies now doing annual sustainability reporting, be it the banks, be it other institutions in the service sector, including industry. What is driving this, and what is really encouraging businesses to consider sustainability reporting in your view?
Well, first we have globalization becoming a major trend that is affecting how we do business. And in this globalization, we have a lot of competitiveness affecting us. And that is why at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, our main purpose really is to create prosperity for all through sustainable industrialization. Part of that sustainable industrialization is ensuring that we are fitting and complying with all the global requirements. Some of the global requirements is transparency in reporting and how then we integrate into different supply chains. Issues of data. How do we access data that supports better decisions that can inform how we conserve or preserve our environment, the type of raw materials that we access, the quality of products and services that we need to give to the society. There are also so many global challenges that we are then looking to provide solutions. And these solutions are solutions that then address the needs of the society. We are seeing that in 2050, there will be about 10 billion people. So this increasing population is also becoming more climate conscious because we are all fighting for resources, and these resources must be used more efficiently for it to sustain the industrial production and the growth aspirations that we have, especially here in Kenya and also globally. We all are competing to provide the relevant services to consumers. Consumers are demanding better products, high quality products. The middle class is increasing. You can see that the number of the middle class across the globe is also demanding high quality products and services. So that also requires more understanding on the kind of raw materials then that we should access. And then in these raw materials, how do we utilize them so that we can provide more and sustain the growing population, meeting their needs? So when you look at all this, so the market is demanding that we are more proactive in the way we produce and consume. Then we have the regulations coming from statutory regulations that are also becoming more conscious of then how we deplete resources. We are depleting more resources more than we are the environment can be able to regenerate. So as a result, then we must be conscious in how then we utilize these resources more effectively. So the government has brought up many regulations from the global front, where we as a country have committed to the Paris Agreement, where we shall be able to mitigate climate actions and even adapt to the climate change. We also have regional actions that we have committed to, like the Africa 2063 strategy. We've committed to sustainable industrialization. At national level, we've also come up with various policies and strategies, beginning with the Constitution, where we are saying we need to have a sustainable environment and also become a middle class that is living in a clean and healthy environment. All that is driving also compliance. Also issues of human rights, and which are making us focus on better labor practices, educating the populace so that they can be better skilled at handling production, good production practices, sustainable consumption practices, even waste management that is bringing new innovations around how we produce innovatively. So we need to make sure our labor force is able to also handle these emerging innovations requirements, and at the same time we treat our people well and create healthy workspaces. So there are many demands coming through that are making businesses to pay more attention to sustainable practices. Also, brands need to begin to demonstrate that they're sustainable for them to access these climate conscious markets, which is increasing day and night, especially the Gen Zs. They're becoming more aware of global brands, and even local brands, and their responsibility to the society and to the communities around them. So that demand is increasing, and businesses are increasingly seeing a need to be more transparent in how then they report. It's good for business to showcase what they're actually doing with the right impact that they're having to the society. They need to measure that impact and communicate to their stakeholders, starting with their employees, their customers, their shareholders, and even to the governments, so that they can continue to be in business in the long term. Right now, we are looking at generational businesses. How do we create generational businesses? That's part of sustainability and the reporting requirements. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Very elaborate explanation, and thank you for that explanation. Now, this week is the Energy Sustainability Week, an event that is co-hosted, of course, by the Kenya Social Manufacturers in partnership with the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. What are you, maybe you could take us through the overview and what you are seeking to achieve within this week. What should people look out for?
So the Sustainable Energy Week will take place between 29th and 30th of May 2025. In that week, we shall be having the Clean Energy Conference, the 11th edition, which will run for 2 days, 29th and 30th, at the Safari Park Hotel. And within this conference, we are looking to showcase clean technologies, especially energy efficient technologies, water efficient technologies, waste management technologies, and even e-mobility technologies that are coming up as a new trend, where the country is moving towards low carbon emission vehicles. So all that will be showcased as part of the exhibition alongside the conference. In the conference, we want to measure success, since we started this conferencing and discussions around the transition to clean energy as a country, and discuss the policies in place that have facilitated the adoption of clean technologies in this country, and even modern technologies. We'll also be reviewing emerging policies like the carbon tax policy, carbon markets policies, the strategies coming up on how to utilize green hydrogen, also financing of these technologies, and financing energy efficiency options. So this will be part of the discussions during the conference. And we invite all industry stakeholders, starting with the governments and the sectors interested in energy efficiency and climate smart solutions, also industry players, the technology manufacturers themselves, and their vendors, to come and showcase what their technologies can do in terms of the solutions they are offering in promoting sustainable practices in industry. Manufacturers themselves to come and see what they can utilize in their factories to improve their processes, as well as just reduce costs and also create a healthy working environment for their staff by adopting some of these technologies like lighting efficiencies and others. Also, we are welcoming sponsors, people who can sponsor the event and begin to have brand association with Matters Climate Solutions as we all take action in coming up with good solutions that can help this country move towards a greener society. We are also encouraging people who can exhibit to come and showcase their technologies because seeing is believing. A lot of Kenyans may not even know what opportunities there are or what modern technologies are available to purchase locally. You can be a global manufacturer, manufacturing from any part of the world, and you showcase to us here in Nairobi, and then we can market because we are looking to manufacture for the world, starting with Kenya, East Africa, Africa, and the rest of the world.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and the event is taking place where? Maybe you could tell us the location.
Safari Park Hotel, 29th and 30th. That's for the Clean Energy Expo. Just to mention, on 30th evening, we'll have the Energy Management Awards.
Yes.
And here we recognize excellence in energy efficiency, investments and innovations around process improvements, investments in renewable energy technologies that are either, complementing electricity consumption or just, giving innovations on how they can also make money out of it through opportunities that have come up like net metering. So we have companies that have demonstrated serious innovations and we want to celebrate them on 30th of May at the same venue, Safari Park Hotel, starting at 5 p.m. We have over 132 applications. And interestingly, we have new sectors we are going to be also recognizing, transport sector. The county, we shall be awarding best performing counties in matters of promoting energy management. Also, we have another category that we are doing for green buildings, which people can come and also see, young innovators. And we have also specially hived out textile and apparel sector, where they'll benchmark against their peers, and also the tea sector.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think that's quite elaborate. I know we'll be diving deeper into this as we explore what Emma and what Clean Energy Conference also will entail further. Right, Joyce. Sustainability, more or less, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers is anchored under a department that you lead. I'm interested in understanding the formation and the objectives of the Center for Energy Efficiency and Conservation. What was the thoughts behind it? And what do you seek to achieve? What are some of the services that you offer your members, manufacturers in readiness to sustainability?
The Center for Energy Efficiency and Conservation was started as a response to the needs of the members. One of the big challenges that was happening then was high cost of energy. And a lot of discussions with the mainstream government, the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Industry and Treasury on the cost of power. So there was a lot of advocacy that was driving discussions on reducing the cost of power. And the initial thoughts then were, of course, to reduce it to a rate of about 10 US cents. And that became almost impossible. And the discussion was, what are we doing at industry level? Is industry also optimizing opportunities to be more energy efficient? Are we investing in the right technologies to make us more productive? And in that debate then, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers was able to consider looking for partners that could support them in improving industrial processes towards being more energy efficient. And then there was the partnership that came through the Global Environment Facility and the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, then Ministry of Industrialization. And together they were able to start a project that would then create more awareness to industry on sustainable business practices, starting with energy management. One of which is educating them on the benefits and the economic justification for being more energy efficient, investing in energy efficiency as your first fuel, so that then once you're efficient, you incur a lot of cost savings. And over time, we have seen that the cost savings have been to almost 30% of the savings. And through an impact assessment report that was done about 3 years ago, we saw that for every 1 Kenya shilling invested, you save at least 10 shillings. So the economic justification is there. And then, of course, there was the start to recognize industries that are actually adopting excellence in energy management. And that's how Energy Management Awards started back then in 2004. So the project took about 2 years. And the Ministry of Industry realized the main discussions were actually core to energy. And hence, together with CAM, they invited the Ministry of Energy to take up the partnership. So in 2006, the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, together with CAM, signed up an agreement that then they formed the Center for Energy Efficiency and Conservation. That would now be a public-private partnership in supporting the energy sector and more so industrial sector to be more energy efficient and promote conservation measures around energy and generally adopt best practices in energy management aligned to also global partners. By then, we also had other global partners coming in as we were looking at global best practices in energy, also looking at energy generation, how we could be more efficient in that area, how that energy is distributed and transmitted to industries as a way of addressing challenges across the value chain. And as a result, this partnership now took policy advocacy as a core service that it could offer to members and at the same time inform government on policies that need to be undertaken. There was also trainings. In those early days, most of the trainers were coming from out, either South Africa, the US. We didn't have local experts that could offer trainings or even certification courses. So another priority then came up of training local professionals in energy management and giving them certifications where they can be professional auditors or trainers in these specialized courses.
Yeah.
So specialized training courses became another service. Of course, then we looked at industries once they've done energy audits, which was part of energy management, assessing their audit performance, energy performance, identifying areas of wastage and opportunities for savings. They would get then an investment plan. From this investment plan, one of the challenges, of course, was financing. So we started offering financing linkages as a service through the center to our members and connecting them to banks and others. The other service, of course, is market linkages for technology manufacturers to be able to connect with the industrial needs and support them to invest in modern technologies that can be more energy efficient. And later we expanded to water efficiency, looking at water efficient technologies and improving how we source for water, how we use water, and how we dispose water, which again looked at wastewater management, like water treatment plants, recycling of water, and opportunities thereof. Most recently, of course, we also launched the Center for Green Growth and Climate Change has come when the demands for environmental protection and preservation increased, and we needed a wider view of green growth and not just energy management as part of our sustainability journey. And in this journey, of course, we went into looking at circular solutions, promoting circular economy for the nation in partnership with other government arms like the Ministry of Energy, also Ministry of Environment, the National Treasury, together with the Ministry of Industry, and attracting more partners to be able to look at circular solutions. We've gotten support also from the international partners like Confederation of Danish Industry, who helped us to come up with the Kenya Plastic Action Plan and even support with the development of the extended producer responsibility regulations together with other governments. And with that, we've grown the green growth work at CAM. And now we are focusing even more heavily on process optimization services, looking at carbon footprint assessments, circular economy resource mapping to make sure people can match resources, and generally strengthening our advocacy work to make sure we have a conducive policy and regulatory environment and the conditions can, of course, stimulate or catalyze more investments in circular solutions, starting with energy efficiency and renewable energy.
Great. And probably just want to pick up one of the aspects that you discussed, especially under the green growth, the circularity. Probably maybe you could just, just dive deeper on what is circularity and what does circularity mean for businesses, so that even as businesses out there, consumers, they are aware on what circularity means organizations and how they can also be participants in enhancing circularity for themselves, for the organization, and also for our country?
Circularity is simply keeping resources in the loop, eliminating waste, moving towards zero waste where possible. If you look at waste, waste is a resource that has costed money. So waste in itself is money. So when you look at it that way, then it is in your interest that you have zero waste. So circularity is about promoting any innovations around that value chain or that resource streams, so that you have no place where you're saying you've lost money or you've lost a resource. So just as an example, looking at from when you access raw materials from the production phase to the processing phase to distribution to disposal, and how that waste is treated, that all those resources then they become resources. At every point is a resource to the next level. So that way you have zero waste. And sometimes people make fun around how we utilize even vehicles. You find in one home, 3 houses have left to go to just similar home offices next to each other. Or, you are bringing your car. It's our behavior we have to change. I bring my car, park it here at the parking the whole day. I could have easily used a taxi or an Uber that can then go around, dropping and picking others. So we are looking at efficient utilization of the assets that you have. So making sure that we have optimized whatever resources we have across the value chain. So that essence of circularity is the new way of doing things, of course, paying attention to what I had mentioned earlier, climate change, making resources more scarce. So we are dealing with scarce resources. If it's water, you find that we need to be more water smart. We can't be wasting water like previously. So in the industries, when we are looking at water audits, we look at the circulation of water from when you access that water, how you get it, how you distribute it within your industrial processes, the uses of water in the industry. And we found there's so much wastage, even just in some of the automatic toilet flushes, when you're passing a toilet flushes and nobody has used it. So we had to change and discuss opportunities for water-efficient technologies in industry. And as an example, one beverage company was able to save a whole 500 million Kenya shillings in 1 year, just by improving their practices and their technologies of how they use water. So you can use recycled water to clean some of the places instead of fresh water, and leave fresh, high-quality water just for production of the goods, because the product needs to be of high quality. So those are examples. So circularity is across all resources, whether water, energy, raw materials, solid, home use also. And most recently, we're also looking at appliances. How are appliances being consumed? And then the waste element. So we have like laptops, phones. A lot of them are being wasted, yet they can go back into the manufacturing system and remanufactured. So we are looking at remanufacturing, at household level now we are looking at waste segregation at source, so that this waste can be brought back into the manufacturing stream. You can upcycle, recycle, downcycle, remanufacture. So there are so many opportunities for creating jobs. So circularity also is good for the nation. We have opportunities to create jobs, come up with new innovations. And as such, CAM has worked very hard to build together the networks around circularity, so that we can close that loop. And as a result, I have to finish. We started what we are calling Loop Forum, where people can discuss policies that are conducive for circularity, offering circular business solutions, or even just enhancing investments in circular solutions, and also showcasing. Some people would wonder, what is the circularity? So we would showcase solutions and technologies that promote circularity. And that way we are in the third year, and we've seen a high growth of interested parties, not just locally, but also internationally. So it's a big emerging area. We welcome Kenyans to pay attention to circularity, circular business solutions, and also as we together grow towards making this country greener and growing within a green economic structure.
Oh, brilliantly explained.
Yeah.
Now, let's take back our focus on the Sustainable Energy Week. And I want just to pick one of the aspects, as you had expounded earlier, the 11th edition of the Clean Energy Conference and Expo. And probably, could you take us the 11-year journey? Because as in 11 years ago, you started this. How has it been? Have you seen successes? Are there any challenges that you faced? And what's the forecast as we move forward?
Well, the Clean Energy Conference and Exhibition, we started it in 2015, and it was a response to our members' needs. As a result of doing the energy audits and the investment plans proposed, we would find that there was proposal for investment in solar PV technologies, and then there was a challenge of who are the right vendors, and people would say they are receiving oversized, equipments that are really or undersized. So there was a lot of problems of matching first high quality equipments with financing and with our industry. Yet in our investment plans, we've given them a proposal of how they can invest, and even with a payback period of probably 1 to 5 years, quite attractive economic justifications. But then in the stage of choosing a technology provider, then we had those challenges. Maybe you're told to look for the right compressors. You don't even know where to start. Who are these compressor companies? And then we didn't want them to be loaded by only one provider. We wanted to give a choice that you can have a list of 10 technology providers, whether it's on lighting efficiency or fans or compressors or even smart meters. So as a result, from one of the projects we had where we were doing feasibility studies for different technologies, we said, why don't we then create a platform where we can showcase these technologies as we discuss and bring together the ecosystem. And that's how we started the first Clean Energy Conference in 2015. It was quite interesting because of the kind of people that showed up with interest. The academia were interested. And as a result, we started a partnership on developing solar PV guidelines, installation guidelines, which now have formed a curriculum in offering solar PV trainings as a result of this. Still, from the clean energy technologies, we're able to strike partnerships with very many technology providers. Most of them have realized very high sales, and the industries have been very happy with the results. For instance, lighting efficiency. We've been able to have industries changing a lot of their lighting systems to LEDs and realizing very high savings, cost savings. Also from there, we've been able to change a lot of policies in partnership with the Ministry of Energy, who were also very keen on this Clean Energy Expo. And they've been a core partner in this. So some of the policies we've been able to improve, of course, issues of net metering, and through the power purchase agreement policies where people would invest in renewable energy with that interest to also sell back to the economy or wheeling and such. So we found those new policies and strategies have been introduced to support or catalyze investments in energy efficiency and renewable energy. We have also seen a lot of industries investing in solar PV for captive use. Mini hydro power plants. We've seen a lot of companies interested, tea companies, and those who are closer to the water sources have gone into mini hydros. We've seen biomass to support with boiler efficiency. So we've seen a lot of investments in new technologies and modern technologies. In the 11th year, we are upping the discussions from basic regulations and availability of technologies to now emerging trends, like now the green hydrogen and what it can do to power industry is a new discussion within the national government and also in industry on how to utilize that. We're also looking at carbon markets. People have invested heavily in all these energy efficiency and renewable energy strategies. We are seeing a reduction in carbon footprint, and there's an opportunity to trade that in the market. So we are looking at integrating that with the sustainable practices we have and how we can integrate also with global markets and also the tax element that's coming in. So we have been advocating for fiscal incentives to enable us to invest. Some of the incentives that have come really are about things like time of use tariff. There's a time we had a rebate scheme, although it was forgotten immediately. We've also been, saying we need our cost of power to go down. So a lot of industries are investing in these technologies to subsidize their electricity cost and also to support government when we start the net metering opportunities, which we are waiting to see how that will be administered. So we've seen a lot of success in this. And this year we look forward to having more experts joining us in really breaking down how we can move forward. We have e-mobility that's coming in with a lot of incentives, and we're asking for even more incentives. And we will now break down the infrastructure support system around that, the policies that are conducive for an investor to set up a factory here to produce more of this e-mobility. Currently, we have more of the motorcycles, a few of the small vehicles, but we are saying we need more of Kenyan, more vehicles that are electric to be produced here in Kenya. We also need incentives from a consumer perspective to be able to afford this. Subsidies either in how then some of these investments can be supported, whether it is capital deduction allowance and others. So we've been also advocating that for people to invest in renewable energy technologies, the government to also give us some rebates, reduce some of the duty for some of the components that are needed to producing these technologies. So I must say it's been successful. It's a useful forum. And also the investments are worth it for this country as part of the journey towards green transition.
Okay, absolutely. And, very, very well, incredibly put. Now, let's focus on what will happen on the Friday, on 30th. You'll be undertaking your 21st Energy Management Awards, commonly known as EMA, signature event in the country and within the industry. Please take us through what is EMA, what are you seeking to achieve, what is the objective of actually undertaking this event?
Energy Management Awards is a recognition award, just as it says, for outstanding performance from industry and other stakeholders, other sectors that have been participating or are interested in showcasing their innovations. So the Energy Management Awards are about also recognizing the operational excellence that has been there in industry, also, understanding the effort they have put through in terms of the things they have been able to achieve, like cost reduction, energy savings. They have achieved very high, some people have sustained high performance on cost efficiency, and we will also be recognizing such. Those who have also made a name on the global footprint. We have some companies that have been able to prove that they are capable of being highly productive in this market. So we've seen increased investments in this market, and we want to showcase such. We also want to showcase the technologies that industries have been able to implement and demonstrated that is good for their business. For the participants, we have about 132 applications, and these people have wonderful innovations they are showcasing us, but most importantly, they get a chance to demonstrate that their brands are compliant with sustainable practices. They can communicate to their markets that they are responsible, that they care about the citizenry, and that they're ready to share transparently what they have been doing as a business. And this is part of attracting long-term investments and even being there to stay. Like I said earlier, sustainability is about even looking at the next generation. So you want to build a generation of business, then you need to make sure that you're communicating to your different communities, starting with your customers, stakeholders, regulators. At the Energy Management Awards also, which is a partnership with government, there'll be all these government agencies to also recognize that industry is putting in a lot of effort in driving innovations and promoting a culture of sustainable business practices. So we are excited to demonstrate as an industry that we also are putting a lot of effort to drive this nation towards a greener economy. We are also interested in making sure that we are ready for business in the long term. And we are building resilience in our businesses and also showcasing that we are going beyond energy. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking at all aspects of business practices and sustainability, developing leadership, a leadership that cares about sustainability. So one of the issues that we want to showcase is also sustainability leadership. Also a community of practice, of people who are practicing sustainability in their business and also looking at the society and also profits. I must say, for you to be there in the long term, profitability is key.
Yeah, it's key.
So we've seen that through the Energy Management Awards, where we actually verify results with the measurable tools at the factories as part of the process. We've seen a lot of cost savings that have helped industries, use that money for other types of investments. So to that, it increases your productivity, it improves your industrial processes, and at the same time increases your profitability. That's part of sustainability, and that's what we'll be showcasing at EMA.
Good. Earlier on, you had actually mentioned in highlight some of the new entrants that you're going to do, involving the counties, involving new entrants, transport sector, and all that. Maybe you could just highlight some of the categories of awards that you'll be recognizing, especially looking what are these sectors that you're looking into, and also, just for our viewers to understand the different categories you have and the different industries that can be recognized and that can be part of this process.
First, I must say EMMA is a voluntary process. So anybody who would like to step up and be counted as being a sustainable business is welcome to participate. But within the Energy Management Awards, we are looking mainly, we'll assess overall practices in your energy management. So we have the Overall Energy Management Award. That's for somebody across all aspects of energy. They are doing well in terms of savings. They have demonstrated savings that are measurable and also from a period. So for this year, we are looking at investments in 2023 and a 1 year period up to 2024 to showcase impact of that investment with measurable results. And that's what then we are recognizing now. So investments before 2023 should have been recognized in other years.
Previously.
Yeah, just to demonstrate year-on-year improvement in productivity. So that's one. We have also best performing company in terms of either the team, the leadership, also in terms of electricity consumption in savings, also thermal consumption in terms of fuel savings. All those are calculated, even carbon savings. So we have all those different categories. Then we've gone to also another category on water efficiency, your water consumption levels and how efficient you are in your processes. So water savings will be part of that and the investment or innovations you've brought around that. We have the renewable energy category, looking at also the investments, the innovations you've put in, whether for captive use or it's giving you more income and how much is it helping you to subsidize your total cost. So that also we are looking at the investment levels. We're also looking at intensity of energy use so that we see whether you're improving in that area and general process improvement. The new categories, we have the transport category. So we are looking at the transport value chain and the ecosystem and how you are measuring your efforts, how you are measuring results, the carbon footprint abated, how you have reduced your carbon, that whole supply chain of transport system, and whether that is within your investment plan. So that's another thing. We focus also on your planning so that it's deliberate. You planned for it, then you invested and you measured results, which can be proved through a measurement process. Then the other category is county awards. We are glad we had quite a number of entries from the counties, and it will be very exciting to know who the winner is and the things that they have demonstrated. For now, I'll not say. I invite you to come on 30th of May and listen to the stories.
Yep.
Yes?
No, just proceed.
We have also the Green Buildings Awards, part of sustainability is green buildings, whether at household level, industrial level, or general buildings category, which has various certification levels, and we've partnered with Kenya Green Building Society to help us to do those assessments. And these are very well categorized into different levels, including different indicators that are globally accepted for measuring the success of green buildings. So we have more opportunities also to have sector benchmarks between the tea sector, who've also come out for that, and we have been supported to do so, and also textile and apparel. Next year, we look towards having more sector approaches where we can have different titans measured against each other so that we come up with sector benchmarks and also global best practices that can be comparable and can be able to also convince the business case around sector by sector. Because we know certain sectors, energy consumption is higher than others. And sometimes the measure, the change is not as significant to some sectors as to others. But either way, the overall intention is continuous improvement productivity improvement, and increasing the competitiveness of industry.
Great.
Yeah.
And I think you just mentioned, and like the collaboration of counties, counties in this, the collaboration between counties, government and private sector. And probably, as you mentioned, that you've been doing this in collaboration with the government through the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. Just tell us the significance of this collaboration and how significant this has been, even in, moving forward as an industry, just ensuring that there's good collaboration between government and private sector.
This collaboration has been excellent with the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. Number one, you know that as CAM, we exist to offer dialogue between government and other stakeholders to make sure that we are creating a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. So in this partnership with the ministry, we have jointly defined what are the success areas in terms of recognition and also agreed what are outstanding performance. What are these outstanding achievements that we need to move the country forward? And as a result, we came up with the energy management regulations that is very clear on what would then be the practices expected out of energy management. As a result, that is what we used to develop a tool that would then measure results. The other good partnership is that this tool was adopted by the ministry through the regulator as a way of measuring compliance across all industry. So we are not caught by surprise. It's a co-creation of the expectations of what is good practices in industry. So that's adopted. So whether you are participating in EMA or not, then you still need to show compliance through the regulator. And it is not a surprise. It's well articulated through the energy management regulations. The other partnership we've heard is that all the results we receive through EMA, for instance, we are able to jointly see how that can influence policy. So we've changed a lot of policy decisions as a result of the evidence provided through the verification process of industry performance. So we provide a very good sample or a case study for government to understand industry challenges, opportunities, and performance, and also drive expectations from a government perspective. The other great partnership is that they have actually put money into it as a sign of commitment that they expect industry as a sector to perform better in energy efficiency and conservation practices. So we have jointly worked supporting their performance contract within government. So part of the partnership is to enhance performance of the ministry, and our role is purely improving industrial productivity in energy management practices.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we've also come up with the Kenya National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Strategy jointly with other stakeholders, of course. And the CEC has taken a center stage in committing to providing the services that are there, energy audits being one of those, being the largest provider of energy audit services in the country. We have committed to support achieving some of the goals and ambitions in the national strategy. Many other good things have happened, and we can discuss that another day.
Yes.
But we love this partnership with the government, and we thank the Ministry of Energy and all of government for that kind of support and partnership we've enjoyed over the years. 21 years of a structured, well engaged partnership that has seen tremendous results. Thank you.
In interesting and a very good testament now of how public and private can actually work together for progress. Indeed, Joyce really shows that the collaboration between public and private is really important for progress. And now let's look at what would say like the back check of EMA, because EMA is a celebration of a process that of course involves energy audits. Please take us through what is energy auditing and what does it entail?
Energy auditing is one of the services we offer at CC, and also part of the commitment we've made with the government through the Ministry of Energy in improving energy efficiency. So energy auditing really is around looking at how you identify your energy management practices, you identify opportunities of cost savings, also assess areas of any kind of wastage that you may see across the process. And we have different types of auditing. So there's a simple walkthrough audit where you just go around the facility and see with your eyes opportunities for where you can see wastage and save on that. We also have detailed audits through the general audits where you have to go there with your equipment and measure. And then we have the investment grade, where you have to not only measure, or once you identify the wastage, and look at opportunities for energy efficiency or conservation, then you have to create an investment plan, where in that plan then you identify the different technologies or equipments that you have assessed and areas of improvement for each of those, and give a plan of investment, either in a proposal of what they need to do to be more efficient, and then even a cost estimate of that would be, and also the savings you envisage as potential, and even payback period. So you give a clear payment investment plan that then advises an industry on how to prioritize areas of investment. Yeah.
Okay, and conducting energy audits, especially for industry, is it backed by law? What is the criteria? What determines company X should do an energy audit by law? And also, is it also open voluntarily? You know, especially looking for micros and SMEs. Is it also, and what is the significance? What is the importance of even voluntarily, checks also for businesses?
Energy audit actually started as a voluntary process, where, as a measure of improving sustainability practices in industry, CAM initially had begun to support its members to do audits to help them assess their performance in energy management, identify wastage. And the main driver was driving cost efficiency and improving productivity in the operations of the factory. That was really the main driver then. And as a result, of course, it started demonstrating a justification for even improved profitability and even healthy workspaces as a result of transforming the energy practices in industry. The other reason that now it became a law through the regulations, Energy Management Regulations 2012, was to then compel industries, those that had not seen the need for that, to begin to do it. And it had a criteria of 180,000 kilowatt hour annual consumption of electricity as a condition. So anybody who's consuming more than that or above that needs or is compelled by the regulations to do energy audits. But then we still continue to promote energy audits, even for those who are not in that criteria, like SMEs. And once in a while, we have a lot of partners subsidizing that cost for SMEs. So we have so many other industries doing audits that are not necessarily meeting that threshold. One, because it's good for business in terms of realizing cost savings, eliminating waste, like I mentioned. Any waste is a cost because a raw material is an input that you have already paid for. So if it's wasted, then your money goes to waste. So it's good for improving on our access to resource efficiency. So it's that good for the business. The other thing is that it improves productivity for the business. So whether the law is asking for it or not, it's actually good for business, and we have seen a business case for that, including the investments in renewable energy. The other area for the law actually is that you need to do an energy audit every 3 years. That is as per the Energy Management's Regulations 2012. And we have a new version, which was released this year, 2025 Energy Management Regulations, that has increased that span of time to 4 years, simply because the majority of the companies have been doing energy audits and they've been able to realize a lot of savings. And we've also built capacity. Over 2,000 professionals have been trained on energy management practices in industry. So these are industry employees that are well trained. So in between the 4 years, they're able to do annual walkthrough audits and even improve on how they measure results and how they measure performance. So with the 4-year window, we have a lot of opportunities. Over 4,000 facilities, as according to Kenya Power, are already meeting that threshold. As CAM, we've done more than 2,000 audits to our industries. And in those audits, some of those who have entered into energy management awards, like 500 of them, we've realized or demonstrated a savings of 15 billion Kenya shillings from the work of those 500 companies that have come to be assessed and also to be recognized in a transparent process like the Energy Management Awards. We've also seen that is an equivalent to about 2,000 gigawatt hours. So we've seen real savings from the work that we've seen in industry. As I mentioned earlier, from an impact assessment of all the implementation that has been done from the investment plans from energy audits, we saw that for every one Kenyan shilling invested, there's a savings of 10 shillings. So that is a big business case.
Exactly.
We've also seen some of there was a dairy company through just something like, optimizing their steam processes or integrating two steam plants together. They were able to save 300 liters of fuel oil. That can be almost converted to 5 million Kenya shillings then. So those are some of the reports we saw from the impact assessments, including the LED lighting. We've seen tremendous savings. The beauty of this is that some companies have been able to even demonstrate to their boards that it is good to invest in these sustainability practices, and they have good budgets prepared for them annually to continuously improve, and they have been able to sustain high performance even in the energy management awards. One of the factories even mentioned to us that out of their many global factories in the world, it's a multinational. Kenya was marked among the top 10 in terms of being highly efficient, in high productivity, in terms of energy management and general sustainability practices. Most of them now have been motivated to move towards net zero targets by 2030, you can imagine, and coming up with bold targets about improving sustainability practices in industry. So generally, it starts from a small journey of an energy audit
Yeah.
and all the way to tremendous changes and transformational practices in industry and big savings. That money you can transfer it to other investments. You can do community work, support the community around you. Most of them are planting forests or supplying water to the communities, even connecting them to electricity, giving jobs to the people around them. So these savings are going into other sustainability support systems, even conserving the environment, and looking at building capacity of their staff to be able to handle these new equipments. One company told us they have been able, out of changing into biogas systems and even bringing in water treatment plants, solar PV, they've created so many green jobs just so that people can be able to adapt to the new sustainability practices, improving the employability of the staff, making them more competitive even from a global front, and even with the new requirements like the EU coming up with sustainability due diligence. Most of the industries in Kenya are already compliant and they're able to sustain their markets in those areas. These rich markets that, of course, pay well for the products and services, keeping them more productive and, of course, more profitable as they look at better growth plans and expansion strategies.
Wow, incredible. And just like in class, we always have the A students. Who do you mind sharing with us, Joyce, some of the organization that have been very outstanding, especially during your 21 years journey? You know, there are those companies that, yes, they've been in this process for a long time. They've benefited over time. Do you have some of, companies that are renowned in Kenya that really have embraced this in their processes?
Yeah. Luckily, it's not a secret. Energy Management Awards are a public event.
Absolutely.
And we've been showcasing this. What I want to say is that I really appreciate those who've been in it for the long haul. We have companies like British American Tobacco in all their facilities, continuously entering into their awards to be assessed every year, demonstrating improvements and innovations. Remember, I said it's time bound. You can't give us your innovations for 2010 to be assessed in 2020.
Yeah.
So it's 2-year period, 1 year of investment, 1 year of assessing impact, because you need to see change in your operations. And we've seen year-on-year improvements. We have companies like East African breweries who are very serious even with sustainability managers, sustainability measurements. They have trained most of their staff in sustainability on carbon footprint assessments. They have a lot of carbon footprint analysts they've trained, energy management, energy managers. They have even taken up our courses on certified measurement and verification professionals. So in terms of how they measure results, they have shown tremendous improvement because they are aligned to international practices, international protocols of how you measure sustainability. Most of them have started launching sustainability reports. So we can see a big growth and confidence and boldness in their innovations. We have, those are multinationals. We have even local companies like Bidco. We have people like Isuzu the other day who also were winners. Very good, and they are open for people to go there and just see their facilities and learn from them directly from the factory. We have many of the tea companies through KTDA have also participated. Hotels like Sarova have participated year on year. We are quite amazed at the level of interest they have sustained over time. And we even came up with what we call sustained high performance, just to recognize that there are people who take this seriously as a business strategy. It's well embedded in their corporate strategy, and they have serious targets and goals that they are working for. New KCC also, there are quite a number. I leave the rest for you to come and watch at the Energy Management Awards on 30th of May.
Yes.
Join us from 5 p.m.
Indeed. And as we
Yes.
conclude this conversation, Joyce,
Yes.
which has been a very candid conversation, what is your clarion call to partners, sponsors, people who would want to attend, people who are still making a decision if they want to partner or attend? What is your word? What is your clarion call to them?
Join us in promoting a culture of sustainability in this country, promoting competitiveness in this country, and most importantly, come and witness at the Energy Management Awards on 30th the outstanding performance from the companies themselves, and see the excitement and joy from these industry experts and also giants in industry as they win these awards. We ask you to either sponsor us. You can partner by sponsoring this sustainability story. You could also buy a ticket for the dinner or buy a table as a corporate and bring other people to witness, and also to be able to adapt and learn from these practices and, take it back to our own businesses. You could also participate by exhibiting, showcasing the technologies you have or financial solutions that you have to support investments in this area. Or also you can attend the conference where we are addressing the theme Beyond Energy Efficiency, Inclusive Solutions for a Sustainable Future.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Joyce, thank you very much. I must say thank you very much. This has been a candid, insightful conversation. You've helped us unpack issues around business sustainability and linking that to industry, and understanding that sustainability is not just at the corporate level. It really begins at an individual level, whether it's in our homes, whether it's in where we are working, in our workspaces, and the like. And I must say thank you very much. This has been indeed a very, very good conversation. And folks, thank you. There you have it. This has been a candid conversation with Joyce, who leads the sustainability and the consulting for Kenya Association of Manufacturers. It is my hope that you've continued to be inspired, continue to be informed, and more importantly, that you continue to build this country. Until next time, my name is Njenga. It has been a pleasure hosting you. And if you like our conversation, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, as well as share with your friends, share with families, just to ensure that this information gets out there to more people. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.